What's going on, guys? We're here with another video. Today we got a little bit of an interesting experiment for you guys. What would happen if every Madden cover athlete was on the same team? How would they do? How would they finish the year? Who would have the more impressive stat line? And that is what we're here to find out today. So how this is going to work is we can only do one quarterback at a time. The quarterbacks that were featured in Madden were Dante Culpepper, Michael Vick, or no, let me go in order here. Dante Culpepper, Donovan or no, yeah, I'm tripping. Michael Vick, Donovan McNabb, Vince Young, Brett Favre, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady twice, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen. So, and I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting, but I'll fix myself, but I think I'm pretty much right. Anyways, we'll make sure. So each quarterback is going to take a rep. We'll see which quarterback has the better year out of the quarterbacks that were featured in Madden. Starting off with the first quarterback, he was featured on the cover of Madden 2002, and it is Dante Culpepper featured in the cover. We'll see how he does in this first simulation. Now, the running backs is another point of emphasis that I want to imagine. So right now we have Marshall Faulk. Marshall Faulk was on the cover of Madden 2003, followed by Eddie George. Eddie George was featured in the cover of Madden 2000. So the next pair of running backs after that would be Sean Alexander. Sean Alexander was featured on the cover of Madden 2007. And Peyton Hillis. Peyton Hillis was featured on the cover of Madden 12. And then after that, we have Adrian Peterson and also Barry Sanders. But probably the next pair after Hillis and Alexander is going to be Peterson, and the recent one, Christian McCaffrey, was on this year's cover. And then from there, we'll probably just see which duo is the more prominent. And I'm probably just not going to do Barry Sanders because this is like an alternate edition, really. So I'm not going to worry about that. Sue me, whatever. But from there, we'll see which duo has the best year, and we'll probably just stick with them throughout the remaining however many sims. I can't do the math. We might be already gone by the time we cycle off through the quarterbacks. So now let's look at the receivers. We are pretty stacked. We have Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown was featured on Madden 19, the cover. Calvin Johnson, Megatron. Megatron was featured on the cover of Madden 2013. Odell Beckham Jr., he was featured on Madden 16. And then Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald was one of two cover athletes of Madden 10. Him and Troy Polamalu switched to the defensive side of things. Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman was featured on Madden 15. We have Ray Lewis, who was featured on Madden 2005, the first Madden to introduce the hit stick feature, as well as the first defensive player featured in Madden on the cover. And Troy Polamalu, who shared a cover with Larry Fitzgerald in Madden 10. Now it's only right that we're doing this simulation using the Raiders, a team that is synonymous with John Madden himself. And we also have two players that are John Madden. We have one John Madden at center, and also one at defensive tackle to give us a little bit of an extra boost. So it's going to be interesting to see in this sim what happens, how we do, if we make the playoffs, will we win the Super Bowl, and who, if we win MVP and things of that nature. So I'm fired up for this one. Now, if you take a Lotus, I will say Dante Culpepper looks pretty similar. Marshall Faulk, probably not. Eddie George, yeah. AB, no. Odell, it's kind of getting there. Calvin Johnson, yeah, I would say that's a pretty good Calvin Johnson. Larry Fitzgerald, no. Ray Lewis, kinda. Sherman, not at all. Troy Polamalu, not at all. Pretty good John Madden, though, I would say, on that one. So, But point being, this isn't my job, so I'm not like a full-time YouTuber, so you're gonna have to cut me a little bit of slack. Now, when it comes to what's up, we were at the end of the simulation. So let's see how we did. I already did this, but I just made a crucial mistake, which I'll explain later. So Dante Culpepper had a good year, 3,000 yards, 23 touchdowns to 5 picks. Rushing, Marshall Faulk led the way. Pretty good carry distribution, I would say. So that's one thing I'm glad to see with Madden is the distribution between the few backs, and Dante Culpepper also scrambling for that. Go to receivings. Calvin Johnson had 1,000 yards with 11 touchdowns. Everyone else was pretty mid. Now here is a stat that's crazy. So Ray Lewis, he had a good year, whatever. We go to sacks. 23. I literally just put this John Madden guy in for shits and giggles. Like, I put him at center, not even thinking anything of her. Yeah, he's a 99 overall, I get it. But 23 fucking sacks, dude. And then we have Max Crosby on the back end coming up with 18 sacks. Has to be a record. I'm not even going to look it up, but I'm pretty sure that's a record. Just with the 23 alone, then you add Crosby in there with 18. That is just ridiculous. So, and then Richard Sherman had a couple picks as well, and Troy Polamalu had a pretty good 74 tackles, 2 picks. So definitely did his thing on that. So then you go to the team stats. We were pretty at the bottom for offense, but defense we were number 2. And we don't even have a whole lot of players other than the 23 sacks that really carried us through the season. And it's not even like our offense did bad, just everyone else in the NFL was just fucking ridiculous. So it's pretty much what it is. And so we went to the team stats. We go to the in-season awards. We had no one come in through for the MVP, and Defensive Player of the Year, we won that. We don't have any rookies, didn't win, but best running back or O-line. Had John Madden come in third on the O-line side of things, but D-line won that, did that, Ray Lewis, and so yeah. So then here's where I messed up, because I just did a video where I was just reacting to it on the fly, going through over that. Was viewing the playoff bracket like such. So I didn't know. I thought that the red numbers meant that you lost. So I read the Jaguars score. I'm like, okay, 45-24, whatever. But for some reason, when I did the simulation for the Chiefs, I read the red number as, red means you lost. So I thought we lost, and then I just ended the video and, hit next season, only to find out that we moved on to the AFC Championship game, and we're playing the Super Bowl against the Packers, and we dominated the Ravens. So just a quick recap of the 3 games against the Jags. Dante Culpepper had 3 touchdowns. Didn't do a whole lot on the ground, and good ball distribution. Gronk caught 1, Calvin, and then Fitz. Now we go to the defensive side of the ball. Didn't do a whole lot there on defense. Now we go to the Chiefs. Passing yards, pretty good game. Didn't do a whole lot on the ground. Receiving, Gronk. And again, they showed up for the regular season. 1 sack is still good, but not as. And then Ray Lewis had a pick. Not as impressive, so I didn't get to see the stats for this game, so I'm live reacting with you guys right now. 4 touchdowns for Dante Culpepper to 1 pick. Did some, so 100 yards altogether on rushing, and Dante Culpepper even, so well over 100 on the ground between Falk, George, and Culpepper. And receiving, Calvin Johnson led the way with 2 touchdowns. Gronk had 1. Antonio Brown with the touchdown, and yeah, that's it. And then defensively, still got a sack between the two. Do we get any picks? Oh yeah, we had a lot. So Troy had one, and that's it. So we're in the Super Bowl now. We're playing the Packers. Can Dante Culpepper lead us to the promised land after I messed up the original thing? Oh, so we played in the Pro Bowl. Yeah, I'm not gonna go through that. I'm not going to. So yeah, I guess we're simming to the off season. Go to the recap, and we lost 17 to 24. Doesn't look like. If anyone knows if there's a way to check the box score for the Super Bowl, but I'm not. I'm not seeing it here, so I guess it's just probably just gonna go into the game and play it and see it so that we can look at the stats and everything. But we won the Super Bowl. John Madden with the MVP on that one. So Dante Culpepper takes us out to the Super Bowl, wins. I know I said he lost. My brain is fried. Forgive me. I'll do better in the next part. Moving on with Michael Vick. See if Michael Vick can try to top what Dante did. Win another Super Bowl. Keep this train going. And John Madden get another 23 sacks. And as well as with Sean Alexander and Peyton Hillis in the backfield. Stay tuned. Guys, and we are back with simulation number 2 underway, so let's go ahead and check out the stats. Alright, so Michael Vick is going to be the quarterback for this simulation as he was on the cover of 04. 28 touchdowns to 5 picks, not too shabby at all. Rushing, we have Sean Alexander and Peyton Hillis are going to be the two running backs, and the next to him it'll be Adrian Peterson and Christian McCaffrey will be the next duo, and from there we will see what happens. Probably just going to have to stick to one, but Sean Alexander, 1,000 yards on the game, not too shabby at all. Peyton Hillis, 600 yards, really was a one-hit yonder, but he still did his part with 6 touchdowns, and Michael Vick did his thing on the ground. Receiving, not a whole. We didn't have 1,000-yard receiver. Antonio Brown led the way, followed by Calvin Johnson, Odell, Gronk, and then Sean Alexander. Larry Fitzgerald need to get him more involved. Defense, Ray Lewis did his thing with 4 picks. John Madden, another insane stat line with 22 sacks. Crosby beat him out with 27 sacks. And so yeah, let's see. Okay, so yeah, I was looking for Sherman. Sherman did have 4 picks. Sherman, season of he was on the cover of Madden 15, 59 tackles, so not too bad at all. Now let's look at the awards to see if we came in anything. Didn't come in the MVP race. Offensive Player of the Year, no. Defensive Player of the Year, Crosby, so top 2 on defense. And Sean Alexander won with best running back. Didn't have anyone come in the top 10 at wide receiver. So there's that. Now let's take a look at what our record is and if we made the playoffs or not. Just go to here. So we went 14-3, led the division. Chiefs also had a good year, 12-5, and yeah, It's a two-way ties between us and the Chiefs. Somewhere else has a 2 seed in the AFC, but let's go ahead and go to the playoffs here. Oh yeah, let's see who we have in the. We probably have a first round bye, right? Well, yeah, obviously. So yeah, gonna have to sim a few weeks. So we will be facing the Chiefs in the divisional round. See if we can get it done. And we won 45 to 17. Check out the player stats. Mike Vick didn't do a whole lot passing wise. Sean Alexander carried us with 3 rushing touchdowns. So really, the rushing game kind of did, and defensively didn't have any sacks. And this happened last simulation. I mean, Crosby and John Madden, they carried all throughout the regular season with sacks, but in the playoffs, kind of mid. Ray Lewis had a pick, and Sherman didn't do much, as well as Palomalu. So we were in the conference championship. Didn't get to see who we were playing against, but I'll find out after I sim. And we actually took an L, so Michael Vick did not make it past. We got beat out by the Ravens. So Michael Vick fell a little bit short in the simulation, of course, to Lamar Jackson. Who else, right? Michael Vick did his thing, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Didn't do a whole lot rushing. Receiving was okay. Gronk carried us, and we got 2 sacks. Not even by either Cross or John Madden. Tyree Wilson actually, and no picks or nothing. Who led us in tackles? Ray Lewis led us in tackles. So yeah, so that's the end of the simulation number 2. Michael Vick fell short to the Ravens. Actually, yeah, we might as well just see who wins the Super Bowl between the Eagles and the Ravens, I believe. Yep, yeah, I gotta sim another week, of course. Do 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 do. Alright, so Lamar Jackson did get it done. He is the MVP of the Super Bowl against the Eagles. So that's pretty crazy. Shout out to Lamar Jackson and the Ravens for coming in. Michael Vick unfortunately didn't gun. But now coming up next in it is Donovan McNabb's turn as he is on the cover of Madden 06. Also be on the lookout for Adrian Peterson and Christian McCaffrey. Those are the next running backs coming up, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, and we're back with another simulation. This time we got Donovan McNabb at quarterback alongside Adrian Peterson, Christian McCaffrey. Pretty much had to tank the entire organization to get to trade, had to turn the salary cap off, and probably going to be sticking with those two. I mean, Christian McCaffrey and Adrian Peterson, I mean, that's a lethal combo. Not at all trying to cover for the fact that I'm pretty lazy. So there's that. But with that out of the way, let's look at the stats to see how we did this year. So Donovan McNabb, 27 tuds, 13 interceptions. Not the greatest of stats. Rushing, Adrian Peterson carried the way with 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. McCaffrey did his thing as well with 9. McNabb with a touchdown on the ground. And receiving, Odell, 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. Calvin did his thing. Gronk did his thing, and Larry Fitzgerald just not getting any love. So we go to tackles. Ray Lewis leading the way with tackles. Again, just a dominant performance by John Madden and Crosby there. Troy Polamalu even had a sack, no picks. Ray Lewis actually leads in picks, and let's see if Sherman did anything. So yeah, Sherman also had 3 picks, so that's good. And so we went 12-5 again. It looks like we're playing in wild card weekend though, so did not receive a first round bye. And let's look at the awards real quick before we go ahead and get this going. As you can probably hear my dog in the background. Had no one in the MVP yet. Offensive Player of the Year, no. Defense, John Madden. Best quarterback, running back, receiver. John Madden with the O-line. Forgot to do that on the last sim, but he probably won that as well. And so there's that. So we are in the playoff bracket playing against the Chiefs to take on the Ravens, who won the last sim, and they're back. So they're looking to repeat. See if we can get past the Chiefs first, though. And we do. Kind of. Wait a minute. Yeah, I'm confused. This whole bracket's confused, but yeah, we barely escaped the Chiefs with a 3-point lead. Go to the player stats. Donovan McNabb with 2 touchdowns. Pretty good on the game, or rushing game, 71-34 between the two. Receiving, did that, and again, just no production. 2 sacks, not that bad. That's actually not showing up. Who led us in tackles? Not even any of our guys, or the Madden guys, I should say. Didn't really do much in that game, but nonetheless, we move on to take on the Houston Texans in the divisional round. And we won barely. We made it to the conference championship. Looking to seek revenge on the Ravens to get to another Super Bowl. Let's first check out the stats. Donovan McNabb with another good game, 2 picks, 2 tuds, 1 interception. 128 yards for AP. That is nice. Receiving, not a whole lot there. Antonio Brown led us. Defensively, 2.5 sacks, so that's not that bad. Who led us in tackles? John Madden. Didn't really seem like our secondary doing too much of anything. So yeah, we're in the AFC Championship trying to knock out the defending Super Bowl champs and the Ravens. Let's see if we can get it done here. And we made it to our second Super Bowl. We're going to be facing off against the Ravens this time. As, let's look at it. We haven't been winning these games by very much at all. And even Lamar had a pretty good game that game. But Donovan McNabb, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. And that didn't do too much on the ground there. Adrian Peterson, wow. Adrian Peterson led us in reception behind Odell. Ray Lewis did his thing tackling wise. Not doing too much in the sack department, no picks. But trying to bring home that Lombardi with Donovan McNabb to see if he can win a Super Bowl in this simulation that he was not able to do against the Patriots. But Andy Reid's still doing his thing, right? So I have to sim this, and then I have to sim again, and then that will figure out. But kind of sucks like you're not. I mean, I could go into the game, but I'm too lazy to do that, to look at the box score and shit. So we'll just have to go by who won MVP and all that jazz. Alright, so we fell short to the underdogs. The underdogs, Los Angeles Rams. Jared Verse, the left outside linebacker. So we fell short with Donovan McNabb was not able to get it done in the sim. And the next sim, we'll see if Vince Young can get it done, as he is the next contestant on this journey of NFL quarterbacks and cover athletes. Alright, and we are back with another simulation. This time Vince Young from Madden 2008 is our quarterback. So we'll see how we do. Let's check out the stats. Alright, so Vince Young, not very impressive. 20 touchdowns, 15 picks. We go to rushing. AP did his thing. 1,200 on the ground with 16 touchdowns. Hell of a season. McCaffrey did some, and also Vince Young had 2 touchdowns on the ground. Our leading receiver was Megatron with 7. AB with 4. Gronk did okay. Odell. And, Fitz getting some touches. And Gronk did his thing as usual. And this continues to be a trend, averaging like 30 sacks a season between these two. See how Sherman did. So Ray Lewis did his thing. A lot of tackles, 3 picks. Troy P with 1, and Sherman with 1. Now let's go to the awards. No one for MVP. Offensive Player of the Year, no. Defensive Player of the Year, won that one, of course. Sean Alexander, we traded him. Well, we released him because we had to add it, but he was doing pretty good for Pittsburgh. And so we win that. O-lineman. We do have an offensive lineman, John Madden, so he's doing it as well as defensive lineman. And go to the standings here. Alright, well, I wasn't expecting this. So Madden 2008, first year Madden, we don't make a deep run in the playoffs. We go 8-9, and we lose out in our division to the Chiefs at 14-3. Also, the Chargers got a wild card spot, so we were not too far behind, but it is what it is. Let's just see who wins the Super Bowl just for craps and giggles, and we'll get out of here. And hopefully they'll give us a recap here, which I'm thinking they probably should, but I'm not 100% too sure with you on that. Oh yeah, here we go. Alright, so here's a new one. The Pittsburgh Steelers with Sean Alexander, of all people, won. So Madden 07, Sean Alexander did some things, so at least we got one. That's winning the Super Bowl as they demolished the Packers 30-6. Now it's Madden 09 time with our boy Brett Favre. Alrighty, and here we are with another simulation. This time Madden 09's Brett Favre. Let's check out the stats. Alright, so Brett Favre, I mean, he did better than Vince Young, but still not exactly an all-inspiring effort. Rushing game killed it, as always. Receiving, Gronk actually led us this time with receptions. And, Larry Fitzgerald still not getting used that much. Defensively, a little bit of a down year as far as sacks. I mean, I say down, but, you know, it kind of is what it is. Our interception leader was Ray Lewis, Richard Sherman. And probably not winning any awards other than the typical Defensive Player of the Year. Alright, so AP actually made the best running back, so that's something. And then, yeah, best O-line, D-line. DB, I forgot to check this out on the previous thing. go to standings. Did we miss the playoffs again? Did we? Alright, so we finished 11-6. Clinched a playoff berth. So we're back in the playoffs again. Let's see how we do. Oops. As we are playing, we're playing the Colts in the wild card. My bad, guys. I'm kind of new to this whole sim thing. Alright, as we take the L. So we made it to the wild card with Brett Favre, Madden 09 cover boy. Lose to the Indianapolis Colts 27-23. As we go to our at the player stats here, Brett Favre didn't do too good. Rushing, we did really good actually. Our leading receiver was Odell with a tud. And then defensively, allowed 5 sacks, which is ridiculous, but for us it's not that good. And Ray Lewis had a pick. So pretty disappointing on that one. Let's go ahead and sim and see who won in this year's version in an alternate universe. And I did turn the salary cap off, so anyone that wants to make a comment like, oh, you turned salary cap off, yeah, it is what it is. This has been a grind of a video to make. And the Seattle Seahawks with Jerome Baker made a Super Bowl appearance, beating the 28 Jacksonville Jaguars. What a time. What a crazy Super Bowl matchup that would be. Anyways, with all that being said, let's go ahead and move on to Madden 11 with another white boy at quarterback, Mr. Drew Brees. Madden 2011 is coming next. Alright, and we are back again with another episode. This time, Madden 11, Drew Brees. Let's see how we fared out. Alright, so pretty good year comparably to the rest of them. It's actually, yeah, a good year. Rushing, we did pretty good. Even Drew Brees got 167. AP continues to dominate. Gronk leading us. Haven't had a 1,000-yard receiver in a while, but pretty decent numbers nonetheless. Fitzgerald didn't even get to the category. Poor Fitzy boy. And yeah, still dominant with the stats between Cross and Mr. John Madden. Ray Lewis had 4 sacks. Richard Sherman is kind of cooked. He's promoting. And Troy hasn't really done much either. As we go to the awards, see if we cracked anything. Try to remember. Haven't won an MVP in a while. Didn't even come in the top 10 really in any of the simulations that I remember. But AP wins best running back behind John Alexander, the boy. John Madden lost out to Riggins on the O lineman, but D lineman we have that on lock. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we go back to the standings, as we did, in fact. Well, we went 10-7, but we missed the playoffs, so pretty upsetting. I mean, our record was good. Did not make the playoffs with Madden 11 Drew Brees. Haven't made we made the playoffs, but really haven't made a deep run in a while. This is day 2, so I really forget on all the other simulations, but they will be uploaded, so you guys will probably know before I know. But let's go ahead and sim to the off season, see how this season played out. Last week it was the Seahawks beating Jacksonville. And this time it is the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers beating the Kansas City Chiefs with Sheldon Donaldson as the MVP for Super Bowl and Josh Allen winning MVP. So that's pretty cool. Alright, so for next simulation, we're going all the way down to Madden 18 with the GOAT himself, Tom Brady. We'll see if he can bleed us. So we're here with another edition. This time we got Tom Brady here. Very underwhelming performance from the GOAT on the Madden 18 cover. 17 TDs to 2 picks is rookie numbers. But rushing did good as always. Antonio Brown to Tom Brady. Probably Antonio Brown causing Tom Brady problems again. That's why he kind of fell. I mean, he put up with it on Tampa Bay, but I guess after a certain age, he'd got to him. But defensively, still a monster year with 40 sacks. Jesus Christ. Some no-name beat us in picks. Richard Sherman is digressing, but he's still putting up a fight with 2 picks. Troy Polamalu still doing his thing. And, Ray Lewis, I was afraid I didn't even add him, but didn't have any picks, but 113 tackles on the season. No one for MVP, per usual. We got Defensive Player of the Year, though. Top 2, really, in Defensive Player of the Year. Sean Alexander winning the best running back again. And, yeah, that's that. So let's look at these here standings. Alright, so we clinched the division. The division was extra shitty, though. 9-8, so hey, Tom Brady didn't have a good season, you know. But when it comes to playoff times, that's where Tom Brady turns it on. So let's see if it'll be a repeat thing. And we're able to make a wild card run at this thing to put a cap as we face the Jaguars in the wild card round. As we beat the Jaguars pretty single-handedly, 48-25. Tom Brady, that is the Tom Brady that I know, 405, 24-27, 88 completion percentage with 5 touchdowns, 400 yards on the Jaguars. And in the rushing department, didn't really do too good. But Antonio Brown came back from causing drama. He said, hey, look, Tom, I'm sorry that I upset you. I'm going to come back and we're going to have a monster game. So Antonio Brown did his thing. Gronk with 10 catches, 130 yards, 2 tuds. Odell with 4 for 97 and Calvin with 1 for 12. And defensively, combined for half a sack, no picks, and Ray Lewis led us in tackles. Hell yeah. So now we face the Buffalo Bills in the divisional round. Let's see if we can get that done. As we beat the Bills and advance to the AFC Championship game against the 1 seed Indianapolis, Jesus Christ. We lost. We lost in the divisional round against the Bills, 24-9. Tom Brady, 15 for 27, 1 pick. Antonio Brown still led us rushing though, so I guess we didn't even have a touchdown. It was all field goals. So, and got a sack, no picks. Who led us in tackles? Cross. Alright, so let's advance and see who wins, and then moving on to Patty, Mr. Patty Mahomes. Tom Brady was on the Madden cover twice. He shared a cover with Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick Mahomes was on the cover twice as well. He was on the cover of Madden 20 and 22. So, with all that being said, let's just go ahead and sim to the off season. Alright, so the Minnesota Vikings beat the Indianapolis Colts. Jonathan Ellison, the MVP. So, Patty Mahomes time. It's getting pretty close to the end. Let's get it. Alright, and after some delay, we are back here with Patrick Mahomes from Madden 20. Was also on the cover of Madden 22 with Tom. He had a pretty good season. Honestly, probably the best one. At least one that I remember because I've been recording this video within days. So 38 touchdowns to 4 picks. Adrian Peterson with another stellar season on the ground. Larry Fitzgerald shows up, our first 1,000 yard reception with 17 tuds. Wait for Larry to show up big. And everyone else did pretty good, especially did their thing in the ground there. So then you go to defense as we continue to dominate the sacks category. 5 interceptions for the Shermanator, a pick for the Lewister, Troy Polamalu with the pick as well. Alright, go to yearly awards. Didn't win the MVP, although Patty did come into number 9, so that's something. Won Defensive Player of the Year. Adrian Peterson was 3rd for Offensive Player of the Year. Best quarterback, Patrick Mahomes won the best quarterback of the year, but not MVP, so how does that work? I don't know. Adrian Peterson wins best running back. Larry Fitz came in 3rd. John Madden with number 1 in the O-line as well as D-line. Ray Lewis with the best linebacker. So yeah, really all the rewards. Best DB, the Shermanator got it. And Anthony Richardson with the MVP though, and we're at number 9. But where the hell's Anthony Richardson? Because he's in the AFC too, right? Colts. He's number 2. Well, that's weird. Out of curiosity, let's look at AR5 stats for the year. 39 for 12 versus 38 and 4. I mean, I don't know. Had to check out Drake May. I'm excited as a Patriots fan. He's doing that. About to be starting against Houston, so I'm pretty excited about that. But with that being said, let's take a look at these here standings. As we went 15 and 2, number 1 seed in the AFC, I'm pretty sure, but let me make sure before I sound stupid. Yeah. So 15 and 2, so we get a first round bye actually, so there's that. As we are going to take on the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. Can Patrick Mahomes beat his Chiefs into the divisional round? Let's see how that goes. Hopefully we don't get first rounded because that'd be kind of embarrassing. And we don't. We take the win 48-21. Patrick Mahomes against his former team, 133 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's actually pretty accurate. And the real Patrick Mahomes, well, no, that's the decoy Patrick Mahomes. 1 pick, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. That's pretty funny. So yeah, rushing, really on the ground, we dominated. I mean, almost 200 yards. Rushing with 4 tuds. And AB leading us in the yards category, but Larry Fitz with 2 touchdowns and Gronk with 1. And defensively, didn't do much in the sack department. Ray Lewis led us in tackles. And no one, we got a few picks, but no one from the Madden squad. So, move on to the AFC Championship game against the number 3 Colts. Let's keep this momentum going. Alright, we beat the Colts 17-3. as Patrick Mahomes, Madden 20, he's in the Super Bowl, gonna be taking on the Panthers. Oh man, in some alternate universe, I tell you. So yeah, Patrick Mahomes, 93 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, it's kind of accurate how Patrick Mahomes does it, but one thing about Patrick Mahomes is that he gets it done. I mean, the fucker just gets it done. So, pretty good day on the ground. I mean, when you're averaging like 100 yards with 5.3 a carry, no touchdowns though. But Patrick Mahomes had two, but with only 93 yards, and Gronk led the way. Larry Fitz had a tud, and some other no-name had a tud, and John Madden got in there for 4 sacks in the divisional round. Early in the Super Bowl, I forget, honestly. It's been a long process. Ray Lewis leading us in tackles. And we made a Super Bowl appearance against the Carolina Panthers. Let's see if we can if Patrick Mahomes can bring home the dub. And we make it. Alright, so we did make it, although Patrick Mahomes again doesn't win the Super Bowl MVP, Adrian Peterson does. But we win 31-27 over the Panthers. We won the Super Bowl, so now the next simulation will be Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson was on the cover of Madden 21, and he's up next. Let's see what Mr. Action Jackson can do in our next sim. We're at the second to last simulation here of this amazing project with Lamar Jackson. Had a pretty good season, 27 touchdowns, so only 3 picks. In the rushing department, AP with another 1,000-yard season, but McCaffrey being about, yeah, no, he's black, shut up. 13 touchdowns, 620 yards. Lamar with 5 rushing touchdowns. Receiving, Calvin Johnson led the way with 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. Everyone else had a pretty decent season, too. AB kind of got slept, but that's besides the point. Alright, and then we go to the defense. Another amazing sack between averaging, like, yeah, crazy. The amount of sacks we've had throughout this whole thing is. Alright, and Ray Lewis with 5 picks and 2 sacks and 99 tackles. Ray Lewis just being consistent. The Shermanator with 5 picks as well. And yeah. Go to the in-season awards here. No one came in the top 10 for MVP. Offensive Player of the Year, no. Defense, John Madden, of course. Sean Alexander continues to do big things. And yeah. So I did see we went 12-5. I'm pretty sure I learned to look at the thing before but part of it is I just don't want to spoil it for myself, I guess. 13-4 actually. Are we the number 1 seed? No, the Bills are. So we'll play in Wild Card Weekend, but we're the number 2 seed, and we're playing the Houston Texans, who are 8-9. So be a pretty disappointing loss if we were to lose. But Lamar Jackson is known for not doing so well in the playoffs, so hopefully he can put those demons to rest against the Texans and move on into the playoffs. As we do escape Houston 31-17. As Lamar Jackson, 2 touchdowns. And pretty good rushing yards, 100 yards between McCaffrey and Peterson, and Lamar and McCaffrey shared a touchdown. Calvin Johnson leading us the way. And 2 sacks for Mr. John Madden. Nobody with a pick, and Ray Lewis leading us in tackles. As we move on, 31-17, as we move on to face the Indianapolis Colts in the divisional round. All right, and we lose actually. So Lamar is one and done. I mean, the choking kind of continues as we get pretty embarrassed against the Colts and AR5, who won the MVP last year. Um, Lamar just not a good day passing. I mean, no turnovers, but we did okay on the ground, and yeah, but no passing touchdowns, no rushing touchdowns, and did not get it done. So now we'll advance to the next sim here. Shit, my bad. Alrighty, so the Buffalo Bills finally get a Super Bowl. It took them long enough against the Carolina Panthers MVP winning Super Bowl MVP as well as the regular MVP. So that's a two-time MVP for Mr. Josh Allen. All right, so speaking of Josh Allen, this is pretty poetic because our last sim for this experiment will be Josh Allen as he was on the cover of Madden 24, and that will put an end to this. So save the best for last. We got to end off on a Super Bowl with Josh Allen. He just needs to repeat, but on our team. Let's see how it goes. Alright, guys, we have made it in our last simulation. 3,000 yards passing. How about that for Mr. Josh Allen? An unbelievable season. That is just insane. Rushing yards. Ooh, I don't know if I like that number. Probably not good, but you know what number I like. 24 rushing touchdowns. Josh Allen with one. You'd think he'd have more, but 495 yards is still impressive. Still not a 1,000 yard receiver though, but Larry Fitz leading the way. So yeah. And then we go to defense as pretty fitting. Oh yeah. Cross left us, but it was a good run. 18.5 sacks. Still that guy. I mean four. I don't even know who this guy is, but even 4 sacks and 3 sacks. I mean that's for the lack of Cross. I mean this is still an unbelievable sack season. So you know they're making up for Cross's absence. Ray Lewis with 5 picks, 104 tackles. The Shermanator with 5 tackles, and Troy, even though he's basically a no one at this point, he still got a pick. So you got to admire the grit from Mr. Palomalu C-Gap. Yeah. All right. So, oh yeah, I gotta check the rewards, of course. Check the rewards because we probably got an MVP. Oh, no, Anthony Richardson beat us. How the hell did we not? Okay, I have to see this. We came in at number 10. I mean, AR5 stats would have to be insane. Because, like, 3,000 passing yards. Like, okay. Yeah, okay. Almost 5,000. Jesus fucking Christ. Alright, that's fair, I guess. One best running back with McCaffrey, though. Okay, I'm confused. I am confused. So, didn't A okay, so okay, well I read that wrong. Usually it's AP that's leading the way and rushing, but it was McCaffrey, the black Christian McCaffrey, that was leading it that time. As all all these guys just had insane years. All right, sorry about that. My curiosity just got me. As we didn't even look at the standings. So we don't get the number one seed, but we go 11-6, winning the AFC East. 11-6. So playoff band. Let's see if Josh Allen. Josh Allen's another guy that well, the Bills in general historically have not been good in the playoffs. So we'll see how that works out for him as we place the Steelers in the wild card victory, wild card division, wild card game, however you freaking say it. And we win. Okay, yeah, that thing. We beat the Steelers 28-14. Josh Allen had a pretty good game. I mean, 200 yards, one TD, one pick. Decent game rushing. Who caught the touchdown pass? Some nobody, 1 for 2 yards. Jesus. Calvin Johnson leading us the way. Some nobody with pick. Decent sack numbers still. And Ray Lewis leading us in tackles as we advance into the divisional round to take on the Cleveland Browns. Oh boy. Could it be Cleveland's time? We have to end off on a Super Bowl. Let's go. And we do. We beat the Cleveland Browns pretty convincingly. That would have been funny if we would have faced the Bills in the AFC Championship game, but we got to face the Colts. But 38-15. Josh Allen threw for 2 tuds. Not bad at all. And a pretty good day rushing. I mean, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns between the two backs. And McCaffrey with a receiving touchdown. So, yeah. How many? Okay, so, yeah, two touchdowns all told. And then Gronk with a touchdown as well. Antonio Brown leading us the way there. All right. So, advance to the AFC Championship game against the Colts. Cannot stop now. We got to make it to the Super Bowl to end this off in fashion. All right, so we fall short of the mark. We do not make the Super Bowl. 21-28, we lose. And to AR5 of all people, he didn't even have all good a game, but he's a beast in the regular season. We actually had the better game in this game than AR5 with 2 touchdowns, 150 yards. Pretty good numbers rushing too, and Calvin leading us the way. AP with a touchdown too, but yeah, no sacks, or yeah, 3 sacks, my bad. Still pretty good though. I mean, Sharon with the pick. And that is how it ends. We'll see who wins between the Commanders and the Colts, and that'll be that. And to end it off, the Washington Commanders, the shittiest organization of all time, gets a win. So, 5 years down the line, Jaden Daniels comes in, and Jaden Daniels and AR5, so maybe those are going to be the two quarterbacks who will be on top. I mean, it's entirely possible into the year 2033 as the Commanders get it done against the Colts 31-21. And this has been a grind. Some good stuff, but hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was fun to make, but also stressful, mostly because of Madden, kind of like my Redemption series, but it is what it is. Excited to get back into more videos that don't require this much, I don't want to say effort, but pretty much effort, but you get my idea. College football scheme coming up soon. I got a scheme for you guys that I'm going to be working on. That'll be next. Going to be doing some streaming as well. So if you watch it to the end, I appreciate it. You are awesome, and see you next time.